gentlemen, welcome back. World famous Gen Z rock star here. I'm going to tell you why Anthony Fantano is absolutely insane and why he's probably driving you insane too. And you might be like, oh, how is he going to show me that Anthony Fantano is absolutely insane? World famous Gen Z rock star. Well, I've never heard of you. Who are you? Shut your mouth. Okay, now look at the screen. Look at the screen. Look at the screen. Look at the little green guy. Oh, Spotify is bad. Spotify is bad. Oh my God. He just did an interview. I can see if I can scroll down to it, but he interviewed a lady who's writing a book about Spotify as well. Oh, here, Spotify doesn't want you to see this. And it's right there. It's right there next to Spotify is bad. And what does Mr. Fantano do about any of this? What are his complaints? Should we watch the 12-minute video, the 7-minute video? Should we watch the 50-minute video? No, because I watched them all. And guess what he does? He complains and he solves nothing. What? What a shock. Now, let's go over his complaints, and then we'll get to the insanity. The insanity is part of the complaints. First complaint, Spotify did an event with the president at the White House. They sponsored something with the sitting president. And Trump doesn't have pronouns in his bio, and I don't like that, and that's like erasure of queer people. Sure. Spotify doesn't actually care about its political stances. It just wants to be in good with whoever's in power at the U.S. government. I believe that's almost every single company does that. If that's a problem for you, good for you. Irrelevant to this discussion. Second point, Spotify just shills for the major labels artists. Duh. The major labels own Spotify. What? Yes. The major labels, they have a percent on Spotify. What happened with Spotify, and he goes in the long video, he goes all over this. He goes all over what happened with Spotify. Spotify, first off, I'm going to flex right for you. Spotify, got to teach you how to do the muscle. You got to contract the bicep muscle. You got to do the real deltoid. You got to get the ow. You got to get the, you see the ow. Anyways, that's irrelevant. Your Honor, disbarred, overruled. Now, what he says is that, he talks about how the record labels are owned by Spotify. So Spotify came up because piracy was happening, and the labels were like, no, we're making no money off the records. We used to make $5 in profit off of each, or $10 or $15 off of each CD. So if a song had 1 million streams back in the day, that meant 1 million people gave them $20 each in profit. So they made like 20 million anytime you had a hit record, even a mild hit, right? And so they made a buku bucks. They made buku bucks full of money. And now they're not doing that, right? And so Spotify comes along and they say, oh, I'm from Sweden. I'm from Norway. My name is Daniel Ek. I'm going to come from Spotify. I'm coming to see you. Oh, nice. And he basically said, he's like, okay, let's just make a better user experience than piracy, because piracy is like you download files. It could be a virus. You got to share it from your friends. It takes a while. We can't stream. Instead, let's just offer it legally, but they're going to pay you like a penny. They're going to pay you a penny. And the labels were like, well, we'll take some money over no money, and we're going to make our money from having the Rolling Stones tour for the next 80 years anyways. So, hey, it's better than having people pirate it. At least we get a little bit of money. And so then eventually Spotify buys in. They buy, or the labels, the major labels who are making the money, they buy into Spotify. They all bought a percent of Spotify. And so Fantano was like, well, the algorithm, actually, it just pushes Tate McRae's new song. It just pushes the new Doja Cat, or maybe not Doja Cat, the new Beyonce record. Actually, Beyonce's got crazy fans, as in crazy supportive, but no, it just pushes whoever the big labels want. It's like, duh, they own them. So that's complaint number 2. Now, Fantano's solutions. Oh my God, he says this. He goes, well, we should go beg for scraps. We should schedule a meeting, and we should unionize as musicians and go talk to the labels who we're not signed to, or we should go talk to Congress and have them like say that the labels should pay us money. What? The money's coming from nowhere. The fundamental problem is you have not given the people have no reason to spend money on music when they can get it online. And I don't think people are ever going to start spending money on music. And so he's like, let's just beg people for donations. It's a ridiculous solution. He goes, beg for scraps, schedule a meeting with the labels to ask for permission to usurp them and to take their power. And then he says, donate to your local homeless person. Sorry, I misread that. I mean artist. Yes. Give money to your local homeless person. I mean artist. Sponsor them indefinitely. These are not solutions. They have not worked and they will not work. What? They will never work. You have been saying this for years now to no avail. So, The definition of insanity, according to Einstein, is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. You do the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. So we have two options. Either A, Fantano, he's gone insane. We love Mr. Eggman. Or some of you do. I'm sure some of you do. Sorry. He's gone insane. I hate to break it to you. He's lost his marbles. I know, how in that giant bowl of the head, shiny, really shiny head. But he either lost his marbles, or B, he does not care about you. He does not care about solving this problem. He does not care about any of this stuff. He likes saying he cares, and he likes that only because he gets views and money. Because people know this. They say, oh, well, people like to keep problems around because they make money off of selling the solution. And so if the music industry got fixed and this Spotify thing went away, could Fantano make videos complaining about Spotify? I mean, maybe not Spotify even goes away, but people, if artists find some other way to solve this and fans and artists come together, and then the artists are making a bunch of money and the artists aren't complaining about it anymore, and the fans aren't upset that the artists are complaining all the time, and the fans don't have to pay more money and the artists are making money, then there's nothing to complain about with Spotify. And so you don't make videos off of it. You don't make money off it. You don't get views. But no, he cares about it. He cares about it. Good. Go comment. Either he's insane or he's driving you insane because you're watching these videos thinking it's going to solve the problem. He says nothing different, nothing new. A, power must be taken. It is never given. B, it seems acceptable today to scream for revolution without any concept of what will follow it. This is just what the forces at large want. For who will follow a man who does not know where he's going? Seriously, think about it. Who is going to follow you if you have no clue where you're going? And so the forces at large are like, yeah, go scream about all these problems that we're doing and present no solutions. And just be like, well, like even with the lady, it's like, well, what should we do? She's like, well, we should donate money to the artists and unionize and go talk to Congress. Your problem is the fact that this is the music industry. Investors, people with money, fans, people here who like music, artists, they're all in the dark. No, I can't see you. Where are you? Oh, no, I can't see you. The fans can't see the artists can't see the fans, the music industry, yada, yada, yada. The investors go, wait a minute, I had an idea. This was back in the day. They go, I have an idea. Bazinga. And they would go and they'd say, okay, I'm going to spend money, invest, to bring the artist to help them actualize their vision and put it in front of the right fans. And the fans are going to see it, and I'm going to stand in between them and say, yes, let me collect money for bringing you two together. So I'm going to put the money up front. I the investor, am going to bring the artists and the fans to each other. I'm going to bring them in direct contact. It's like they're looking this way. They're not seeing each other. And I'm the investor, and I'm going to turn them so they can see each other. It's like, oh, look, you're there. I didn't see you there. Okay, that's the way it used to work. Now, the reason they could make the money off of this is because the CD sales of them interacting was making them money. It doesn't do that anymore, right? So basically what I've said, and I will continue to say, is music, rock music, all of this stuff, we should just copy what the comedians are doing. What do the comedians do? The comedians, they find one who has a big podcast. The other ones go on it regularly throughout the year, 2 years, whatever, right? And tell people, hey, this is who I am. I'm really funny, yada, yada, yada. You should come check out my podcast. Until after a year or 2 years, their podcast has sucked they've gotten the subset of these fans. If there's 100 million people who like whatever Joe Rogan, 10 million might like Theo Von. So then Theo Von now gets to the point where his podcast is, making enough money that he can do it full time. So guess what? Now he can spend 40 hours a week getting way better at the art, way better at the comedy. And the way he's making the money, by the way, is from the investors, which are advertisers. It's a different type of investor. They're investing to get the eyeballs that are there to show them stuff. And the people who are the most worthwhile to advertise there, who are going to get the most money from spending money on a musician, let's say, does what Theo Von does, right? World famous Gen Z rock star like Conor Farrell. My audience is rock fans and musicians and people like that. And the people who are going to make money advertising are people who you already want to buy stuff from. So you're not going to get random ads. You're going to get ads from people they want to buy stuff from. But either way, what happens is once that comedian has been put on the map, or they've got their 40 hours a week back, not only do they have a budget to play with now with their career and their art, which comes more into play for musicians, they also have 40 hours a week to get really good at what they're doing. And once they are good, look, they have a whole audience, a whole full-time audience worth of people to publicize how good they are to. So now when they book a tour that next time after they've gotten really good and put out a lot of good stuff, now their fans are going to say, hey, friends, there's this guy I've been following for a while, and he's really good. Now they're finally confident that if I share this with my friends and I bring them to a show, I'm not going to be embarrassed because it's not going to be that funny. Because maybe he was funny on the podcast, but he's not funny doing stand-up. But now that he's really, really good, I'm certain this dude is funny. If I bring my friends, it's not going to embarrass me. So one fan, once the guy's really funny after went full-time and got really good, now when they book the show, the whole thing's sold out. They play it again. The one fan turns into 5 fans, turns into 10 fans, and it goes boom, 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 multiplies, right? And then next thing you know, you look up and Theo Von's just as big as Joe Rogan, and he's interviewing the presidents. He's interviewing friggin', I'm talking to George W. Bush. I'm talking to Donald Trump. I'm talking to Joe Biden, man. I'm talking to Kamala. I'm talking to, I don't know. I think he talked to Tim Waltz or someone. I don't know. Maybe he didn't. But he's talking to everyone. He's talking to friggin' whoever. He's talking to like famous people, like really, really famous people. And you're like, how did that happen? It's like, because he just was doing art, but then went on the podcast thing. And now his podcast is to the point where he can bring on a guest and do the same thing for them. And so you have all these nodes in a decentralized network. And so if you really want this is building up platforms in a decentralized network, and these people are empowered to say no and yes to the individual sponsors for individual weeks of their podcast that they want. Right? And so instead of being signed in with a record label or a thing, it's a much better system. Much better system. Now, the sad part is you don't get money up front. Now, if you really want to jinx it as an artist and go for, I want money up front, what you could do is you could launch some sort of NFT, a collectible. You could say, okay, there is a year one of my band, like Batman year one. There's year one collectible, and there's 1 of 10. I only made 10 of these. The same way if you have a painting and it says 1 of 10, they go, oh, shoot, that's the original. It's not a photocopy that you got at a printer at Staples. It's the original. And so they go, okay, that 1 of 10, when I'm a small artist, is not worth a lot of money. You can buy it for $5. But once I become famous like Nirvana, having an authentic Nirvana t-shirt from right then when they blew up might be worth $50,000 now when I bought it for $5 at the show, right? And so what happens for the band? The band, they're getting the money up front. And so they're able to actually invest it the same way they would once their audience is big enough and they get sponsors from podcasts. They actually have money to spend to go record things, to work with a producer who's got a big name who actually knows what they're doing and stuff like that. So these bands have this money to get ahead in their career, but that's optional because that could backfire. If you rug pull, now you have no career in music. And so the fans who invest in these as well, they're going to have to be like, okay, well, how long have you been doing music so far, right? Do you already have music going that's good? Are you continuing to do bigger and bigger things? Do you have a podcast already? Are you doing these things? Are you already going on Joe Rogan? Are you already going on, let's say it's Rick Beato, let's say it's Fantano's channel, right? Is Fantano interviewing you? Or is Fantano just interviewing whoever hipster is already big, like Jordy Greep from friggin' Black Midi, who's made 1 million videos on? And I like the music. I like Black Midi. I like Jordy Greep. But it's just, this is not helping anyone, right? If you want to think about actually helping, it's making money by getting engagement bait and getting people excited about things they already like. But if you really cared about like the broader music community and things, you wouldn't just say, hey, everyone watching this video. Like if I went to you right now and said, hey, give like $500 to some random guy like once a year. No, seriously, you're going to like it. He's going to make really good art. I promise. Instead, if I said like, hey, for $10, you can buy a piece of this guy's art and it could go up to like a lot if he blows up. And you're like, okay, well now that's different. It could be worth, 100,000. And right now it's worth $10. You're like, screw it, I can throw $10 at it. Yeah, I don't really care. You're like, well, why am I going to throw $10 at this? Because I'm throwing money down the drain. And then you go, oh, no, he's been gaining 1,000 followers a month on YouTube, and he's building bigger and bigger audience, and they're selling out bigger and bigger shows. You're like, and his songs are getting better and better, and they're doing bigger and bigger on streaming and working with bigger and bigger names, and he's collabing with a lot of big people. You're like, and he still price hasn't gone up yet? You're like, oh, let me buy it. It looks like it's a sure thing at that point. And so if things are happening like that, they can issue coins, they can issue these things if they want upfront capital. Otherwise, you just do the friggin' podcast method. You let the podcast meta get established. Now, someone like Fantano or Rick Beato or any of these people with big audiences started doing this, Rick Beato style, right? Joe Rogan, what he do is, like super famous person, super famous person, super famous person, someone you've never heard of before, super famous person, super famous person. He did that with freaking Graham Hancock. Graham Hancock would talk about ancient archaeology. And maybe he got a little bit of fame before. But there's lots of other examples of comedians and people who just no one knew about, and then Joe Rogan would have them on, and then now they're big. Tim Dillon wasn't big. Tim Dillon wasn't big at all. Now he's big. Now he's very big. You know what I mean? So this is the whole point to say is this works. This works. So we should just be doing this. Oh yeah. Yes, that's what I was saying. So, and so he's saying, we need to gatekeep. Oh, we need to gatekeep. And I was saying, if anything, or no, that was a different video I reacted to from Fantano. But he says, I say, copy comedy, stop going insane, actually solve your problems, because this is the macro thing. I come on YouTube here, I see Fantano, I see Beato, I see these people. What do they do? What do they do? What do they do? What do they do? I'm going to complain about things that I'm actually the best positioned to solve. Instead of solving it, I'm going to complain about it. Does it never occur to these people that they could just solve these problems? They're the ones that people should be complaining to. Anyone who has this complaint, you're the one they're complaining to. If Spotify doesn't care about artists and isn't actually trying to solve problems, then maybe Fantano is someone with a lot of connections and a giant audience and lots of money and, wait a minute, I could solve these problems. Oh, doink, silly me, I can solve this. They never have that thought. They never have that thought, really? Never. What is wrong with you people? Think about this. This is the thing. So if you're watching these videos over and over, no one's doing anything, no one's solving anything, you're going insane. Subscribe here. Because I'm building this audience. I'm doing these videos to build my audience because I had to come down off my freaking Thanos chair. I had to say, fine, I got to do it myself. Put the hand in the glove. Got to flex on them. I got to show you. I'm from a superior reality where everyone's just better. Everything's already solved. And I came here to your place where you guys are. It's fine enough here. But I came here and I've got to come and solve everything. So if you want someone who's actually going to solve things, not just complain. I complain. I'm Jewish. I complain. But I complain a lot. Have you seen Seinfeld? Have you seen Curb Your Enthusiasm? I complain. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. I complain, okay? But I'm trying to solve things. So I'm building this platform, this audience, so I can do this. You can go check out my interviews with No Name Dan. So you go, wow, he already did that part. But he didn't do the getting big guests part. So I'm working on it. Okay, I'm working on it. You a famous person? Come on the show. This is what we're doing. We're building it up. Come on. Well, I don't know if I have him on as well. Just have me on. Anyways, if you want this to happen, it is happening. I am inevitable. This is happening. It's going to happen. I am building this audience. The audience is getting bigger and bigger every single week. You can go look. I was at 0 subscribers. As of time of filming this, I'm at like 120. That was in 1 month. I gained like 120 in 1 month. You're like, that's not a lot. You're like, if it gets go faster and faster and faster, you're like, oh, yeah, it is going to grow. You're like, yeah, no shoot. So it's inevitable. Anyways, follow here. Be a part of it. Share this video with people. The faster it happens, the faster we solve the stuff, the faster we get Spotify. We're not complaining about Spotify. We're too busy laughing to the bank and going to awesome shows and watching podcasts with our favorite musicians instead of all of this crazy stuff where we sit here and make videos complaining about Spotify so we can write books about it, so we can sell books about it. And it's good. And the problems with Spotify is Spotify acts like they solved the problem with the investors and the fans and the artists. And here's the thing too is either the artists and the artists kind of come together. The artists in a way are putting the artists and fans together. And then later on, the investors get in with money. And potentially if the artist wants to launch some sort of crypto thing or collectibles at the beginning, then the fans can actually become the investors to a certain extent. And they can replace the record label, right? So your sponsors and your fans now replace the record label in terms of income and things. Now, the good thing with the whole collectible thing is the positive side of that is if you buy it, if fans buy a collectible from you or an NFT or something, now they are actively pushing to help blow you up. Because if they can help blow you up, they're going to make a ton of money. And here's the great thing too. You're like, well, this sounds like a scam. What if you blow someone up and then they sell the thing? It's like, what you did is you actually brought attention to an artist. So at the end of the day, even if someone pump and dumps an artist from 0 followers to 100,000, and that person leaves the equation, now the artist is still there with 100,000 real fans. You're like, well, some of them are just there for the hype. Let's say it goes down to 50,000. The artist has 50,000 more fans. What does that do for their trajectory? The trajectory is going up. Yeah, it might pop up and then go back down, like every stock, like everything ever does ever. No gains when you make improvements to life. By the way, guys, just a warning: you don't go like this. You go up and then down and then up and down. But overall, it's going like that. That's the whole point. So there's lots of things here. But you're taking the investors and the artists and the fans and you're putting them together into some sort of mix. You're aligning the incentives in a way. So instead of complaining about Spotify, do that. If you have a band, if you like talking about music, you care about this stuff, you want to be where the people are making solutions, go to newrockdynasty.com. It's my website. It's a free website where bands can make fan clubs. They can all hang out and interact together. There's no algorithm. There's no ads. The only way I make money is if you want to sell some merch on there, I get 2%. So if you make $20 on a t-shirt, I'm going to get 40 cents. So you're actually going to get $19.60. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah. And that's literally all the cost. There you go. You're welcome. There's no algorithm. There's no ads. You can talk to your fans without getting shadow banned by Instagram, without ending up in their spam email box from sending an email list, and without making a Patreon that no one pays for and you feel on the hook to publish content onto. Yeah, that'd be real stupid. So instead, go to newrockdynasty.com. You can make forums. You can make groups. You can talk to people. There's no ads. There's no bots. There's no reason to put bots because it's not a big platform. It's just for rock people. It's literally just rock people. It's not Facebook where I'm trying to get 18 billion people. The less people on it, the better. The rock people, music people who care about music. You're a musician. You don't have to be rock. You can friggin' rap. I don't care. Come on the website. Talk. People who actually care about music, solving this stuff. That's where the solutionaries are. Home of the solutionaries. No, but the revolution will be decentralized and it will be publicized. And so that's pretty cool. Go check it out in the description. If you want to learn rock music and guitar, go check out my lessons. I have songs where I teach you as if you've never taken a lesson before, and I have songs where I teach you where all you need to do is have taken one lesson or watched one beginner video. One of my videos, your first song is the playlist. You learn the songs on there, one of them, and then you can go to the next playlist, your second song, and learn any song on there, only knowing the things from the first video. So anyways, I'm going to flex. This is my dad bod. I'm going on a cut right now. Hopefully I get a little more shredded, a little more striated, succulent, etc. Anyways, thank you for watching. Stick around. We're bringing back rock, so if that sounds like something you like. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next little video. Peace out.